This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production.
No one told me that.
No one told me that.
No one told me that. In pregnancy highs and lows,
We are tackling the I didn't knows
it's the No One Told Me podcast
with Janay.
and Tay. Happy New Year, everyone. This is the first No One Told Me podcast of 2024, and we are so excited about it. We hope that you all had a wonderful time and holiday with your families. But speaking of the new year, Janay, everyone talks about New Year's resolutions. I actually don't know if I love the word resolution. I feel like goals are more powerful. I don't know. Do you agree with that?
I do.
Okay. So what are some of your goals for 2024?
A big goal that I have is I want to overcome procrastination.
Okay.
Because I'm
That's
a
a
big
really good one.
procrastinator, as you know, working with me.
You're great in your procrastination. I love it.
What about yourself? Do you have any goals?
Well, so, I'm big into cycling. And there has been this race that I have been wanting to do. I've been yes.
That race.
That race. And it goes from Jacksonville all the way to West Palm. It's over the course of 3 or 4 days. But this year is the year I'm going to tackle it. And I'm marking my calendar off so there's no kind of conflict or anything. But
What were the months again?
it's technically, this year was it's always in January. It's on Martin Luther King Jr. weekend.
Okay.
So next year it'll be whenever that is.
Okay.
But they just had it
I'll
this
do it
past
with you.
weekend.
I'll do
You
it
do it with me?
I'll be ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Well, today we're going to dive into the conversation around doula work, specifically the Indian River County Healthy Start Grow Doula program, which was created right here in Indian River County. Our featured guest, Bridget Jerger. Bridget is the Grow Doula Director for the Florida Association of Healthy Start Coalitions and Indian River County Healthy Start Coalition. She has been with Healthy Start for 8 years. She obtained her bachelor's in information technology from Indian River State College and discovered her passion for maternal child health during her time with Healthy Start. She received her Doula certification in 2017 and became a certified lactation counselor in 2019. Bridget has supported many births over the last 6 years as a doula in TLC and has experienced the positive impact doula's work has on mothers, babies, and families. Bonus, she was my doula. Bridget also participated in the development of the Grow Doula model and has continued the mission of increasing doula services for everyone in the state of Florida. In addition to her work in maternal child health, Bridget is happily married and has 5 children, 2 of whom are bonus children. She is active in her community and values time with her family. So Bridget,
Welcome.
now that we've introduced you, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Can you explain to us what doula care is?
So doula care is it's a support person. So we are professionally trained, non-medical professionals to educate and support clients with evidence-based information before birth, during their labor experience, and of course into some postpartum work to just make sure going into motherhood or parenthood or familyhood is just a smoother transition.
Awesome. So you've been kind of gaining knowledge, obviously, on doula work. And were you a doula before the Grow Doula program was implemented?
So we started, so when Healthy Start first started their community doula program, I was one of the first doulas to take the doula training.
Gotcha. Okay. So so then you were, really a part of the whole implementation of this program. So can you talk about how we have embedded our services into Cleveland Clinic and how that was received in some of those outcomes that they saw based on that?
So I'll start with when our predecessor CEO, Andrea Berry, she started with Healthy Start. One of the things that each CEO does when they start within Healthy Start is they shadow within all of the programs. So during this time, she shadowed our health education program, which is a home visitation program within Healthy Start. And she went out with one of the care coordinators there. During that time, they met with a teen mom. She was 15 years old. She was Spanish speaking only, and she had just had a baby at our local hospital.
Yeah.
What she didn't know during this visit with the care coordinator and this young lady, it was all in Spanish. So there was a translation portion that happened after with the care coordinator and Andrea. And at that time, the care coordinator told her, excuse me, that the client had birth alone. Her mother wasn't there. Her partner wasn't there. And the care coordinator had spent time with her to just so that she didn't birth alone at the hospital.
Yeah.
So after that visit, our Andrea went back to the director of women's health, which is Megan McFall, who is now our current CEO.
Yeah. That's like,
I know, right? It's like the circle of life. She went back to her and just asked, how many women do we have in our community that birth alone? And she told her about 100. And she said, okay, I think I want to start a community doula program. And at that point, with the experience that Megan had, it was a very hard no. But the relationship that they continue to build with each other, the rapport that they build, and the community that they build within our doula program, it was, easier to kind of change her mind and structure out the program that we have now developed into Grow Doula.
Yeah, and I know Megan will even say, and when we did the Grand Rounds video and Cleveland Clinic and, they did all the doula highlights, Megan said, like the culture has completely shifted. Before she was like, I don't want doulas in the room because, it can almost seem like the doulas may be get in the way a little bit.
Exactly.
But now the culture has shifted so much that the midwife or OB is like, wow, this is an extended care,
right?
Or I'm sorry, what do they call them at the hospital? Provider.
To the provider, right?
Yeah. So, they're part of their team now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing of the program. We wanted to make sure that when we walked onto the floor, that we were looked at as a part of the team. We took care of the patients, the clients as a part of the team, and we all worked together to support the clients as a part of the team.
Yeah.
We make sure we stay in our doula role. That way the nurse can nurse, the OB provider and the midwife, they can provide, and we can solely take care of the client and her needs and what is going on with her and her body at that point.
And stats that you see after implementing this program more and more is just, it's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. So we have seen our decrease in cesarean section rates. We have seen an increase of breastfeeding rates within our Black mothers. We have seen a decrease of our babies born at lower and fewer, that weigh under 5.5 pounds.
Yeah.
So this program has been a great impact to our community.
Yeah, that's awesome. So part of the beauty of the doula program too, that I love, and Janay and I both can speak to this because we've been through the training, is you really empower our community to become doulas and become educated on how to serve our community with the same cultural backgrounds, lived experiences, so that when you're paired with a doula, you have a similarity and someone that you can really trust. So can you talk a little bit about how we pull from our community to become doulas?
Absolutely. So we have what we do is we put out an application. We want to encourage the community to be able to support the community. So that way the community are the ones that are giving back. So what we do, we put out an application. We have a training at minimum twice a year within our community. We choose between 15 to 20 doulas that have those shared life experiences that they can connect to the community that they are going to serve. What happens is they then they will send us their application. They go through an information session. We give them all the information of some of the expectations of what we are wanting them to do. So things like they understand that when a doula calls you at 3:00 in the morning, that you are available and ready to go support her and, you know, just be there and with her through that labor and birthing experience. After that, they go through, after the information session, they go through an interview process. We want to make sure that we are choosing the right people within the community.
Sure.
So we are asking them, what does your support system look like? Are you okay with being possibly gone away 36 hours, 3 days from your home? If you have children, who are going to take care of your children? If you have pets, who's empowered you that makes you want to be empowered to do this work? Doula work is hard work. You have to have a heart to take care of people and, you know, see some hard things in the labor room. Go through those emotions with the clients because it can be very emotional as well.
Yeah.
So once they do go through that application, that interview process, we tally up all of their scores. And then our doula coordinator, who is Kimberly Wright, she calls them and lets them know that they are accepted into our program. And we just start moving them through the process.
Well,
So
we can both
when
speak
is
to
the
that
next
one.
training?
Our next training is coming up. So if you are listening and you are interested in becoming a doula, our application process is still open right now. It's going to close very, very soon. Our next training is March 15th through the 17th.
17th, yes.
Yep, March 15th through the 17th. We will have another training that is going to be offered later in the year. But if you're interested and ready to join us, please fill out the application and come join us.
And that
I know both
application-
of you have already taken the training, but
And we can speak to it. It's amazing. I mean, I feel like I could go through it again. That's how much I love it. And
come join us.
So if you are interested and you're local to Indian River County, you can find that on growdoula.org.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Click on Join a Garden.
Join a garden. Yeah, go to
Find the March
growdoula.org, grow a
training.
garden, and scroll down to the bottom where you see upcoming trainings. And there's a link there that says scholarship application.
So, Bridget, we know that people often get the two confused. So, can you tell our listeners the difference between a midwife and a doula?
Absolutely. So a midwife takes care of all of the medical portions of the client. They're going to do all the cervical checks. They're going to do all the blood pressure checks. They're going to take care of all of the medical side. What a doula is, we are there just for the emotional and education support. So we're going to take care of the client in herself. We're taking care of her needs, her wants. We're making sure that her birth plan is being executed to the best of its ability. So we are solely taking care of the client. That way the nurse can be the nurse and the midwife can solely take care of the medical needs of the client. So we're non-medical.
Okay. So I feel like doula care is now more widely accepted in our culture, but before I feel like there was a lot of hesitation with having a doula in the room and what that may look like. Do you why do you think that's the case?
I think going back to some of the experiences that has happened within doulas, sometimes they can take over, step out of their role. And it's all solely because of the
They're
client.
passionate about the client. Yeah.
We're trying to take care of the patient. And that can be, misconstrued within the providers, which I understand and get, but I think that is a reason why, it has been a big issue about doulas being into the space. Now, oh my gosh, it's so warming and welcoming. Especially within our local hospital.
I was going to say, I think I'm biased because I just love our program and know that that's the culture we create.
Right, within our local hospitals, but also the two midwives that service our county as well. They welcome doulas with open arms. They welcome this program with open arms. The relationship that we have built with our hospital has kind of cultivated the change that we have now. And I love when we walk on the floor, the nurses are like, are you with my patient today? It's just so like refreshing to see, you know, where we were when we first started this program to where we are now. And it's like, yes,
I know. When you watch the Grow Doula video, like Dr. Teagarden says, she's like, it's like a relief when I see a doula in the Grow Doula in the room, because she's like, I know that the patient's going to have a full coverage of care. They can focus on medical and you guys can focus on emotional and physical support.
A thing that I love about that partnership is they consider our doulas as part of their staff.
Right.
So we are not counted as one of their support people. So they can still have those two support people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when I talk about it, I make sure I advocate that, because I feel like a lot of parents, they're like, oh, well, then if I have you there, then I have to not have someone in the room.
Right.
But when you go through our program, you actually can still have those people there that you planned to originally have.
And that's a big piece in our model. We want the coalitions that are taking on our Grow Doula model, when they are talking to their hospitals, that they are advocating for their doulas to be the support person, a part of the care team, so that those people, they don't have to choose between a husband and their mother, or, you know, whoever the case may be. They have their doula, and then whoever the support of other support people are going to be, that they are there to support them in that manner.
And I also think it's amazing about the on-call schedule, so that just in case someone doesn't know about our program and then they go in and they're laboring alone, then, you know, one of the nurses on call, they can just reach out to one of our doulas, because they have that list of everyone.
Absolutely.
And someone can go and assist those people.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
So,
I think that's a really good segue into the next question too, which is, I'm sure you field calls, but we've fielded calls too, where people, you know, were like, you should use a doula. Like, it's such an amazing experience, and provided that extra support. Like, that's something, you know, we believe in and we champion. And they'll say, well, my husband's going to be in there, so I don't think I really need anyone else. Can you describe, and I know as just going through the training, that the doula plays a part and your spouse or partner can play a part, and the doula can almost prepare both the mom and the father or partner for whatever experience that they may come about in the act of labor. So what is your advice to someone who, you know, thinks that their husband can play or partner can play a full part in that, but also how it differs from how it's different from having a doula?
So the difference is, number one, us doulas, we're not taking away from the partner, the mom, whoever it is, whoever that additional support person is. We're coming in and we're teaching them how to continue and better support them.
Right.
And that's the support from a partner, that partner helping create the oxytocin. We need that partner there. We need that partner to do that extra work that we can't do.
Right.
And we're just there to help guide them, like create a family team. If that person is just going to help alleviate some of those fears and anxieties that may come up, we are there to remind them how to do that. So if it's just, okay, touch her right here, or, you know, give her a massage here, or just give her some words of affirmation just to get her through that wave that is, you know, she's going to be like, oh my God, I can't do this.
And some people are going to, I mean, maybe this isn't for everyone. I could foresee myself when I am giving birth. My husband is going to probably be the one that you're more likely to yell at.
Don't do Jarrett like that, Taylor.
No. He is a saint, but you're just more comfortable with that person. So if they're giving instruction, I feel like sometimes you're more likely to snap, more so a doula who you feel has a relationship with you, but maybe not like that deep, like, spouse connection is you're going to be able to listen and correct your thinking more so better.
Absolutely.
And I don't think people really realize when we talk about like having a doula and having a spouse there, the education component of it. So like, say for instance, a provider walks in and says, you're laboring slow. Maybe we should either break your water or put you in on the list to go into a C-section. You know, your partner is there and they don't know that you have rights as a a laboring mom, but that doula, she has that education and she can say, well, she would have already educated you so that when you're in that situation, you know, you can say, well, can you just give me a moment to think about it?
Absolutely.
Do you guys see that happening a lot?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. We definitely are there. You know, we empower the client to speak for themselves. And if it's just that, okay, did you understand what the doctor said to you? Okay, do you know what they want to do? We discuss that, you know, you possibly wanted to wait. You know, making sure that they use their brain. We have an acronym that we teach in training, BRAIN. So what are the benefits? What are the risks? What are the alternatives? Asking them, what is their gut telling them to do? Do you want to do something now? Do you want to do something later? And is this a safe choice for me and my baby at this time?
Right. And I think it's also important that the listeners know that when you have a doula, the doula doesn't speak for you.
Right.
They speak to you so that you can advocate for yourself.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
And I love that. I think that's like such a critical thing, especially when you're going through that process, because you're not necessarily
you're
thinking
not
about everything. You're one track mind, and sometimes an outside voice is helpful.
Absolutely.
For sure. So if someone is, you know, we have listeners from Indian River County, but we also have mapped some of our analytics just from the past couple months, and we found that a lot of our listeners are not in town.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah, not even in
It's
Florida.
really exciting.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who's listening in town as well as not. But how does one, maybe not necessarily in Indian River County or the state of Florida, access a doula? And then if they're in Indian River County, how do they access a grow doula?
Okay. So there's so many different ways to access doulas. Google is always our best friend, right?
Yeah.
So just Google doula near me and all of your local doulas, if they have some type of web base or if they're connected to an organization that's whoever, they will be able to support you from there. There is also one of the entities, there's a lot of different doula entities. So there's like Doula International. They have a database of doulas that you can search within your state to find a doula that is best for you. Or like I said, just Google doulas near me and you will be able to search any doula that is in your area. Doula is becoming so popular now. They're just popping up everywhere. So we are glad that there's a community of us. There's not enough of us, but there's a community of us.
I have a question surrounding that.
Yeah.
Because I know that people like Sunshine and Humana and other health cares, they sponsor us for our doula trainings. Is that just within the state of Florida, or is that the entire United States?
So those particular health plans support the state of Florida, but there are different health plans within different states that could possibly support other doula programs as well.
So they could also reach out
they
to
should
their
check with their insurance.
To their insurance plans to see what kind of doula support. And that is a great point to bring up. Check out your insurance plans, because sometimes those insurance plans will cover the costs of doulas as well. So it could be a lower cost for you, or it could, be no cost. So check that out as well.
And last thing, if they're interested in having or contracting with a grow doula, one, they contact us at Healthy Start, but what does the payment look like for that?
So if you're looking for statewide for Florida, there are 15 different coalitions that are contracted through the Florida Association of Healthy Start Coalitions. So you can reach out to one of those 15 coalitions, or you can reach out to me and I can tell you which one of if those coalitions are ready and available to have started their Grow Doula program. If you are a resident of Indian River County, you can call our main number at Healthy Start, and they will be able to connect you with one of our coordinated intake and referral maternity navigators, one of those three ladies, and they will do an intake with you. If you are not a Medicaid recipient, we do offer services for a sliding scale fee, and that is $0 up to $500.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, we also shared about if you are not looking to have a doula in your birth, but you want to become a doula, make sure that you check out growdoula.org, go to that Join a Garden, scroll down to upcoming trainings, and click on that scholarship application. I feel like this podcast could have been like an hour long, just because I'm like looking at the questions we had prepared, but like we have so many questions that we could do a part 2 to this. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure that will come up. But thank you so much for coming on here today and just sharing all your wisdom. And we're both so passionate about doula care, and definitely stay tuned for a part 2, right, Janay?
Right.
Yeah. All right.
We'll have to get someone like Kim or Anna to join us next time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that'd be great. Well, thank you to everyone who's listening and viewing. We will see you next time on the No One Told Me podcast with
Janay
and Tay.